Now hang in there on this one. If Zwift is not your thing, do not worry, I've got your back. You don't need to know anything about it other than what I'm going to tell you during this video. I do understand that for some of you, Zwift seems like a bunch of weirdos in their garage, sat in front of a computer screen, wearing lycra, like some sort of weird mix between The Matrix and that Malcolm in the Middle episode where Walter White goes power walking.
Christ, he's fast. Take a look at his neurokinetics. They're way above normal.
So yesterday was a very, very good day. First of all, my new Sony A7 III arrived, so expect video quality to start going through the roof. Then my AMC shares went on such a crazy run that I managed to pay for the Sony in pretty much the time it took to unbox it.
That's right.
Any AMC apes out there, say hi down in the comments, and don't forget, hold till the moon. And then talking of cool looking graphs, this happened. 10,000 subscribers. If you're one of them, thank you very, very much. I've no idea where that stacks up on YouTube as an average, probably quite low, but in this house it's very much above average, mainly because second place is held by my 14-year-old who plays computer games on his channel very badly. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so and hit the notification button. Lots of cool stuff coming up, including a little challenge to celebrate that 10,000, which will be fun to watch, less fun for me to do. Okay, this video is quick and simple. Last week I did a 2-minute maximum wattage challenge, and in the comments for that video was this one. It was suggesting that my numbers might be good enough to see me hang in there on an A category race, at least not get dropped completely off the back, especially if it was a short enough race. And it got me thinking about a cool little challenge. So here was the plan. I wanted to take advantage of the fact that Zwift, unlike other sports, allows someone that is just okay to compete against people that are really, really good. You simply sign up to an A category race and off you go. It's the equivalent of going to your favourite soccer stadium and just running on the pitch and starting to play with professionals, and who wouldn't want to do that? Me. I can't stand soccer. That's not the point. Would you be able to get the ball? How would you get on? Could you dribble it around with your feet and then run with it and, you know, kick it up towards the nets? And I don't really understand soccer. Back on the bike, if I do a really short, fast race where my power can be maintained higher than it could over a longer race, will power be enough? Can I hang in there with A category riders? So despite being a slightly above average C category rider, I sign up for this. The Aussie Crit Crusher Category A race. A 6.7 kilometre race with just 69 metres of climbing. It's actually a race I've done before in my regular Category C. A month ago I won it. Time in 9 minutes 44, 340 watt average at 100 kilos. So 3.4 watts per kilo. Now on that time, I would actually have beaten a few Bs and even a couple of As. In theory though, every race is different, even on the same course. If you are in a group that goes faster or slower than normal, you're going to do a different speed because you're going to get pulled along in their draft with them. So maybe if I'd been riding with the Bs and a bunch of Bs were up ahead of me, I could have got pulled along even quicker than that 9:44 rather than the C category race where I was right at the front for most of it, so who knows? So I went into it reasonably confident and I set myself a few objectives. Number one, win the whole thing. Now, yes, there would need to be a series of rather unusual events to occur for me to actually win, but it has to be objective one, obviously. Objective two, hang with the leaders as long as possible. What does it feel like? What does it take to sit at the front of an A category race? I wanted to see what that was like. And objective three was when I inevitably get dropped by the guys at the front, can I hang on to someone near the back that gives me a chance of not coming last to the race? Okay, so I log in and the first of a few issues crops up. I'm the first one and only one at this stage in the pen. That means a couple of things have happened. First possibility is that because I registered for this race a couple of days before, anybody thinking of joining the race would have already seen my name listed and possibly just been intimidated to such an extent that they basically just bailed out. Second possibility, it's just a quiet race. Either way, it's not ideal because a small number of other riders means that there is unlikely to be a lot of packs developing, which is really what I want to have happen. If I get dropped off the leading pack, as often happens in a Category C race, let alone Category A, I want the following pack to pick me up and then try and stay with them. That will allow me to have someone to sprint against and hopefully not come last. Too few riders means that if I get dropped, I might be on my own. The next issue, I've got to start preparing for these rides properly. I set the bike up in such a hurry that I didn't realise I was too close to Jen's mountain bike on the wall until I sat on my bike, and so I then had to start the race by basically moving things around in here to make room when I should have been warming up. Actually, with 2 minutes to go, I should probably have already been warmed up. Either way, I get onto the bike with 1 minute 20 to go and start pedalling, but actually still mildly confident. And so we are off. 7 of us at this stage, and to be honest, the start just felt like a normal Zwift race, hard and fast. They all go off like that. For me, doing 500 watts for the first 20 or so seconds just to get myself up to the front with those leaders is fairly normal at any category. And so jumping to this point, just 40 seconds in, I felt comfortable, and I was hoping it would remain actually just the 4 of us with the other 3 guys further back, and I could then pick them up if I get dropped off this leading group of 4. But then just after the minute, everyone catches up, and what I thought might happen does end up being the case. We are just one group of 7. Anyone getting dropped off the back of this is on their own. But I'm still feeling okay. Heart rate around 160, doing around 400 watts, which is okay at this point. No huge problems there until there is a problem. You can see me looking down the side of the bike. I'm looking down at the gear change indicator on the Wahoo bike because it didn't seem as though it was changing gear, and it wasn't. I'm stuck in the same gear, and that is a problem because I am going at 85 revolutions per minute, and that is too slow for me. I like to spin at around low 90s, 93, 94, 95 RPM. That is where I feel most comfortable. I will then drop down to mid 80s or go up to low hundreds just to give my legs a break and something different. I can then return to that sweet spot, 93, 94, and feel refreshed again. Here I can't, I'm stuck mid 80s. So I spend about a minute deciding what to do. Do I drop out, race another day, or carry on? I figure actually this is a reasonably flat course, there's going to be not much need for gear changing, so I just push on. And actually I'm not feeling that bad. I could do with my legs spinning quicker, but I don't feel disastrous. When I come to this hill, it gets a bit iffy. It's a short, steep hill. Normally, I drop a couple of cogs, I'd spin my legs up 105, 110 RPM maybe, I'd get the wattage that way, and when I get to the top of the hill, I could come back to 90s again, feel refreshed and push on. Instead here, I'm plodding up the hill, having to stand up even just to churn the pedals over, and as I thought would happen when we crest the top of the hill, the 4 fast guys up the front break away, and I have to actually dig down quite hard to catch up with the 2 at the back, otherwise I'm going to be literally left on my own. But once I'm back with them, it feels okay again. The RPM is annoyingly too slow, but actually what's required to sit with these guys is only around 300 watts, in fact occasionally dipping below 300, and there's only 3 kilometers to go, so I still feel all right at this stage. In fact, it's starting to feel like I can hang with these 2 and then catch them, hopefully, one of them at least, with a sprint finish. And actually I'd be in a reasonably okay gear to do that anyway. I've also got the invisibility power up, which I was going to drop with about 400 meters to go and just shoot off without them knowing. So right now, I've got no plans on being last. And actually not much happens until around 1.5 kilometers to go. 2 mistakes. First of all, I'm sat right there with them, a lot of red on the graph, but I don't feel too bad. I then get distracted trying to get Echo to turn on the music, ill prepared again. And then, having been distracted by that, I realise that with 1200 metres to go, these 2 that I'm with, despite being right at the back with me, they're not right at the back riders. They are still A category riders. Now in a C category race, the guys right at the back here would probably be taking it quite easy in anticipation of a push, if they could even be bothered to push, with 300 or 400 metres to go. Not these guys, they are off. And although I do try and catch them, I've got nothing left in my legs at that RPM. What I need to be able to do here is change gear and find power at a different pedal rate. It sounds daft, but my legs at high 90s, even 100 would have felt relatively fresh. But here, they are just tired of doing 85 RPM. I've just got nothing left in them. And I mean, I do try, I really do try. I made sure, psychologically if nothing else, that I wasn't going to let it go below 500 watts for the last few hundred meters, but that's just not enough. There's nothing else I can do. Those guys in front although they're at the back, they are fast riders. And I am last. And then I collapse. And then I come round. And then I just have to accept that I'm not going to beat A category riders. I do have to be humble in defeat at least. If my gears had worked, I'd have had them. Screw being humble, I would have got them if the bike had been working properly. Okay, on to Zwift Power. Now don't forget, not everyone registers to use Zwift Power, so this only shows 6 category A riders, for example, not the full 7. A few things of interest. First of all, from me, big wattage numbers, but my body weight just crashes the watts per kilo down, and it is clearly just a long way behind the other guys. In fact, I was actually quite impressed to only be 6 seconds off the 2 guys in front of me, given how far ahead they were with their wattage per kilogram numbers. And in Zwift world, watts per kilo is where it is at. Interestingly, 9 minutes 38 for the time means that I would have been beaten by most of the B riders, but crushed the C's. In fact, talking of C's, despite being last, I was 6 seconds quicker this time than I was when I won it last month in the category C race, despite being 2 kilograms heavier this time. Just the benefits of being able to draft faster riders. Had I had a proper warm-up and a bike that worked properly, would I have been faster? Absolutely I would have been. Would I have still been last though? No, I don't think so. I'm 99% certain I would not have been last. And to prove it, I've signed up again next Tuesday, 9 PM UK time, Aussie Crit Crushers race. I'm gonna have another go. If you're an A category rider, hopefully right at the bottom of A category, in fact maybe feeling under the weather, come along, join in, have a go with me, see how we get on. So what have we learned? Not a lot really. A category riders are really bloody fast, which we probably knew already, and a fixed gear bike is not the way to challenge them, which probably wasn't even a question we asked. I'm done for now. Thanks again for subscribing. Please give this one a like if you've not done so already, and I will see you next time in super crystal clear 4K high definition fancy pants. What does it really mean? Not much other than I'm probably going to have to tidy up behind me.